Chased my fiance all my life. Tried hard to be successful because she wanted a doctor. She is still cheating. I know if people are going to see this, they're going to call me a stalker or a simp or whatnot. But it is what it is. I, 28-year-old male, have loved my fiance. 27-year-old female. Since the day I have known what love is. We met when I was 15 and she was 14. She was beautiful, like someone you'll see once in a mall and remember her even after 10 years. I'm sure everyone has at least seen such a girl. She was also sweet and fun. She had many issues at her home which affected a lot of her life choices. But you'll never see her in a bad mood. But she was materialistic, and she never denied that. She always wanted good things and she accepted it. I liked her for it because she wasn't pretentious or fake. When I first interacted with her, she made it clear she will only marry a doctor. She also had good reasons and a story for it, and I do acknowledge that. I accepted it. See, I wasn't very good at studies, but not an absolute fool either. So I gave it my everything. We live in India, so if you are a middle-class kid, you have to pass a crazy hard competitive exam to get into a good government-run medical school, because frankly, we didn't have enough money to get into a private one. I had to try 2 years after graduating high school to finally get into a medical school, all while I was stuck at home trying to study. And she was doing a degree in arts after high school. When I was preparing for the entrance, she was just a friend. Not too friendly, but not too distant either. She made it clear it was nothing more than friendship, though. I also heard about her dating other people, but I didn't care because, in my mind, I always thought of marrying her eventually. I know this sounds creepy, but it is how my mind worked. So, when I finally got into medical school, she changed. She got more friendly to me. She broke up with her boyfriend, and then we started dating after a while. Medical school is long, so when I was in school, she had already graduated and was teaching in a secondary school, which was not very stable or high-paying. But she stuck with me all through the medical school. After I graduated, I joined a hospital. Pretty good pay. Although I had long shifts, the pay was pretty good. During this period, she told her parents about me. Her parents were pretty happy too, because in India, everyone wants a doctor son-in-law. We have been engaged for a year now. We would have married already, but I'm doing post-graduation in dermatology, which is how I found about her cheating, actually. And it is quite hectic to even attend someone else's marriage, let alone be mine. 2 weeks ago, I saw my fiancée had red spots on her body, mostly on her back. I checked everything and I diagnosed it's possibly due to bedbug bites. She panicked, but I just told her there are no issues because we'll just clean our houses and it won't happen again. So we checked both our places. She has rented a house near to her school, and I have a hostel room in the hospital premises which the hospital provides to PG trainees, although I mostly live at her place. We didn't find anything much. So I must have diagnosed wrong, and I told her we should get her blood tested. She was very hesitant because she is very afraid of needles, but I said it's necessary. So I told her to come to the hospital the day after when she gets free from her school. The next day, she came to the hospital from her school with a male colleague. I had met him earlier, so I was cordial to him. We got her blood sample to pathology lab, and I started to talk with this colleague of hers. I asked him where does he live, and he told me where. That just rang a huge freaking bell in my head. Because you see in OPD, we see hundreds of patients in a day of the surrounding areas. We see many people from the same area having papular urticaria, which is a fancy way of saying insect bites. The bites can be of any insects or even bed bugs. But that particular area has a swamp area which gets dried out in summers, and the whole area gets papular urticaria symptoms. It's a common regular thing and everyone in our dermatology department knows it. So I just blurted out, "Do you have any red swellings on your body or anything?" He said, yeah, a little. Just after he said it, he went back on his words and said nothing much though, just like mosquitoes and all. But it had already registered in my mind. After he left, I took my fiancée back home, but I had this feeling that didn't go. The next day I saw her reports and she had no issues. So I just called her and told her I found no issues. I just took insect bite meds for her and gave her. In 2-3 days she was all right, but I couldn't get this feeling out of me. So one night I checked her phone. When she slept, I went through her phone. I had never done it all my life. I found nothing, but I couldn't get through this nagging feeling. The next day I took a break from my shift and went near her school and followed her when she left. She went straight to home. When I saw this, I just scolded myself for being such a jerk and being so suspicious. But for the next 3 days, I kept doing the same. On the third day, I saw her leave with that colleague, and I saw them go to his house. Here, my world shattered. I have loved her all my life. I changed my life for her. She wanted to marry a doctor, so I became a doctor. Didn't she say she will be with someone who is more successful than her? Then what the hell was she doing with this bum? I have nothing against teachers, but he literally earns in 4 months what I can earn in 1. Why the hell did I work this hard? Why the hell did I love her so much? Since that day, I have said nothing to her because I don't know what to do. I have built my whole life around her. I just keep saying to myself, what I didn't have that she had to go to someone else? I know I'm not super handsome, but I'm not that bad looking either. She is way out of my league, I know. But I have worked all my life so that I could be able to be someone she can remain with. If this is what she wants, why has she stayed with me all these years? You know I've had no issues with her ever. She has been the perfect girlfriend. She cares for me. She supports me. I have literally slept on her laps for hours while she sat there stroking my hair. So what is this now? Where did this go wrong that she has to go to someone else? What were the last 8 years? I know this is getting quite long, but I have nowhere to go to. I don't have many close friends because she was my everything, because my life revolves around her. I can't tell this to my family because I don't want anyone else to find out. What do I do? I know it might be that no one sees this, but what am I supposed to do? Update. I'm updating this to address all the people who have commented or PM'd me. People who have given genuine advice. I thank you. I will try to keep in mind everything you have said. I have also offended people by disrespecting teachers. I'm sorry for that. I was feeling very low, and the negativity just came out. I didn't think a man feeling low or having low self-esteem and saying that honestly here will bring so much negative emotions in people. Some people have been outright hostile and hurtful. I do understand that people don't like a man being weak. I'll try to strengthen that about me. Yes, I do accept I'm coming off as naive, obsessed, and whatnot. Emotional attachment of 13 years does not go in a single day. If it does for you, then maybe I'm not as strong as you, but all this negativity has at least numbed me. I do think this will help me to confront her and face up to my life. I didn't think I was emotionally strong enough to do that, so I guess it has helped me a little. Also, people who have texted me saying this seems fake and everything. I wish that was true. I wouldn't be in such condition right now. If it comes off as too flowery or seems like written by AI, then I have to say I'm sorry I can't deliberately write in bad English. Our Indian education system has crammed into us the power to write in correct English with slaps, sticks, sandals, and whatnot. If there are grammatical mistakes and anything else, I will accept that. And no, I'm not hurtful. I have never been. I come off as a stalker, following her and everything, I know. I missed some of my medical duties for that which I never thought I will. So I think I can't go any lower than that. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You are shallow, loving someone because they are beautiful. This is what happens when that is your criteria for a partner. I think you need to figure out what you want out of life before dating anyone. Comment 2. Go back on the dating market. As a young doctor, you will have an abundance of choices. The best revenge is your happiness and success. She has no respect for you now, and that will not change. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around for this update. So, after I caught her cheating, I was a mess. But life has a funny way of throwing curveballs. Last month, my world turned upside down again. My fiance's parents got into a terrible accident. It was bad. They were in my hospital, and guess who had to oversee their treatment? Me. The irony wasn't lost on me. I had to save the lives of the people who raised the woman breaking my heart. During their recovery, my fiance was a wreck. She clung to me like I was her lifeline. Guilt, maybe? I don't know. But her parents? They started seeing me in a new light. They always liked me, but now I was the hero son-in-law. They got better, and her dad, he took me aside one day. He had found out about his daughter's affair. He was devastated. He told me he didn't raise her to be like that. He offered me their family house as a thank you. Said it should have been mine by right anyway. Now here's where it gets crazy. I moved into the family house. My fiance was confused, angry even. She wanted to talk, but I was done talking. I had a plan. I started renovating the house, making it mine. She hated that. She wanted to make up, but I was past that point. Then her lover, the colleague, he got a job offer in another city, far away. She was torn. She begged me to forgive her, to start over, but I couldn't. I watched as she struggled with her decision, and in the end, she chose to stay. She chose the house, the status, the comfort. But not me, not really. I let her stay in the house, on one condition. She had to sign a contract. It stated that she had no claim to the property ever. She was desperate, so she signed. I had my revenge. I owned the house, her parents respected me more than ever, and she was just someone living in my house. But I wasn't done yet. I started dating again. Nothing serious, just casual dates. And she had to watch. It was petty, I know, but I needed her to feel a fraction of what I felt. She tried to make me jealous, bringing guys home, but the house was mine, and I set the rules. No overnight guests. That was my move. She was trapped in a life she didn't want, in a house she couldn't leave, watching me move on. It was a hollow victory, but it was mine. Thanks for reading. Am I the idiot for dumping my boyfriend after he ignored our talk about consent? For some background, I was in a hurtful relationship for 6 years. I've been in therapy for years, and I'm trying to put myself out there again. I just started seeing a guy a couple months ago, and he knows a bit about what I've been through and how hard it is for me to try to trust anyone. He knows I have PTSD and seemed to be understanding and willing to be supportive of my struggles, as trying to date is new and scary for me. He and I had a conversation about butt stuff intimacy. He said he had never done it before, but it was something he is interested in. I said it was something that I sometimes enjoyed in my past, but it requires communication, prep work, and the right mood. I distinctly remember saying that it's not something that can just happen out of nowhere. He completely agreed, and I felt heard and understood. We've had intimacy 3 times now, and the 3rd time it started out as consensual, vaginal intimacy. And then he put it in my butt with 0 warning. This was days after our conversation about butt stuff intimacy. I initially yelped and jerked my body forward to get him out of me. I was so shocked and was trying so hard to not cry. He kept trying to jam it back in, telling me to just relax. And I could feel that he grabbed the massage oil that he had been using to massage my back to make it easier for him, and I just shut down. I remember him asking me why I wasn't making any noise, and I don't even know how I responded. I didn't speak up during or after. It's taken me a couple days to process all of this, but I wish I would have spoken up for myself, and I am blaming myself for not saying anything. However, I'm also upset that our conversation went completely out the window. The things we talked about didn't matter to him in the heat of the moment. Is this an issue of I didn't speak up, or was he in the wrong? I spent years minimizing the abuse I went through with my ex because I was constantly blamed. Parts of me just want to blame myself now and feel like I'm overreacting, and part of me is saying what he did was completely wrong. I just want to know how others would view and handle this. Update. I appreciate everyone's support today. I texted him tonight and told him it was over. He has been blowing up my phone, begging me to give him another chance and saying that he's sorry. He wishes I would have said something in the moment. He didn't know I wouldn't want it, and that he feels like a horrible person. He also said that he thought we were at the point where I trusted him enough that I would say no if I didn't want something. I am not going to reply, and I'm going to continue to remind myself that I should never have to convince a man to respect my boundaries. Additional update. The last thing he texted to me before I blocked him is, "I'm sorry I fricked up. Haven't you ever made a mistake and deeply regretted it? It was my first time and I got carried away." I almost threw up. What a piece of garbage. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. He was completely wrong and he knows it. He is fully aware that he would not be cool with anyone putting a weenie in his anus without checking in first. He knew it wouldn't be okay with you, but he did it anyway. If you bring it up, he'll say, "Well, you didn't say anything." But the responsibility was on him to get consent, and he knows that. Comment 2. I'm so sorry this happened to you. What a horrible person he is. Tell him how despicable he is and block him for good. Please get some therapy. It's obvious to me you have some trauma to work through, and it can definitely make you more susceptible to further abuse. Don't beat yourself up. You did nothing wrong. Now, for the update, thanks for sticking with me on this. So, after I blocked him, things took a turn. I thought I'd be able to move on, but it's like he's still haunting me. My friends who don't know the full story keep asking why I ended things so abruptly. They thought we were good together, and I can't bring myself to tell them the truth. It's like I'm living a double life, smiling on the outside, but crumbling inside. A few days ago, I ran into one of his friends at the grocery store. The friend didn't know I'd ended things and started talking about how my ex had been planning this surprise dinner for us. I felt sick to my stomach. I just nodded and made up an excuse to leave. It's like I can't escape him, even when he's not around. Then, at work, my boss noticed I've been off my game. She pulled me aside and asked if everything was okay. I almost broke down right there. I wanted to tell her everything, but I just couldn't. Instead, I lied and said I was just tired. She gave me this look, like she knew I wasn't telling the whole truth, but she didn't push it. I've been trying to distract myself by going out with friends, but it's not working. Last night we were at this bar, and I saw someone who looked just like him. My heart stopped. It wasn't him. But that didn't stop the panic attack that hit me like a freight train. I had to run to the bathroom to catch my breath. My friends found me there, and I had to lie again, saying it was just a bad case of anxiety. The worst part is, I keep thinking about that text he sent, about making mistakes. It's like it's on repeat in my head. I know it's not my fault, but there's this tiny voice that keeps whispering, "What if you did overreact?" I hate that voice. It's like I'm betraying myself. And then yesterday, I made a mistake that changed everything. I was feeling so low, and I unblocked his number. I don't know why I did it. Maybe I wanted closure or to see if he'd said anything else. There was a message from him apologizing again, saying he's been going to therapy to understand consent better. He said he wanted to explain in person to make things right. And for a moment, I considered it. That's when I realized how messed up this whole situation has made me. I didn't reply, but I didn't block him again either. It's like I'm stuck in this limbo, and I don't know how to get out. I'm angry at myself for even thinking about giving him the time of day after what he did. It's like I'm back at square one, doubting myself, my feelings, my reactions. Today I saw him outside my apartment. He didn't see me, but there he was, just standing there. It felt like a violation, like he was still trying to control me. I don't know if he followed me or if it was a coincidence, but it doesn't matter. It's not okay. I called a friend and stayed at her place tonight. I'm scared to go home. I'm realizing now that this isn't just about one mistake or a bad decision. It's about a pattern, a cycle that I thought I had broken free from. I'm seeing my therapist tomorrow, and I'm going to tell her everything. I need to get back on track, to remember that I deserve to be treated with respect, always. I'm not sure what the next week will hold, but I know I can't do this alone. I'm going to lean on my friends, my therapist, and most importantly, on myself. I've survived before, and I'll survive this too. It's just going to take time. Thanks for reading. Am I the idiot for skipping the baby shower? My mother-in-law planned after she used my boyfriend's money without asking. Update. So, I'm 33 weeks pregnant. When we first found out, his mom and her sister-in-law did brujeria to find out it was a boy, and she bought boy centerpieces. She said if it was a girl, she'll paint them pink. It rubbed me the wrong way, but I thanked her and tried being grateful. I don't believe in witchcraft. It's probably just a coincidence. But turns out we're having a boy. His mom has group chats with her sisters, discussing shower themes and ideas without me. I shrugged it off as she's excited for her first grandkid. She would even make comments about how the baby is hers. The party was for her family, and suggested my family does their own because her family, her husband's family, coworkers, and church friends are over 100 people. I told her I never wanted a baby shower or a gender reveal because I don't like crowds and being around a lot of people. She didn't say much, changed the subject, and said she wanted it in May for the weather, and she's going on vacation in June. She said she didn't want it on Mother's Day, A Sunday. So maybe the weekend before or after, but that will figure it out. Never set a date, but I assumed it would be a Sunday. I told her my boyfriend works on Saturday and we have games. She laughed and said he could call off and we could miss. A few weeks later, she sends us along with only her family the invite. Everything on it except our names. My boyfriend calls her saying she never told us the date until now, and my firstborn has a competition that day, and my mom has surgery the day before. He asks why can't we do it Sunday. She starts screaming at him and gets mad, saying she told us the date in advance and her husband works on Mondays. She threatens to cancel the whole party and says my baby can just skip his competition. Prior to becoming pregnant, the family was really good with my son. My boyfriend went to bed crying. She called me the next day and said she didn't want to be a meddling mother-in-law and if we could please do Saturday because everyone already knows. Her family knew for 2 weeks before the invite was sent, and she already requested the day off at work. And she doesn't want to cancel the shower because she already bought centerpieces. I just tell her to go ahead with her plans and I will be late. I went to her house a few times after, and each time she made comments saying nobody's helping her. So one of the times we stayed late until 10 p.m., my baby had school the next day, mind you, to help her finish her centerpieces. The next time we went over, she made comments that her husband and her are the only ones contributing financially. And if we want to invite anyone, we should just throw our own party. I just stay quiet. Maybe because of the hormones, I get upset and call my mom after. My mom tried to reason with why she's acting like that, and then she offered to make our own little shower. My sister and cousin get on a call and we make plans, throw around ideas, and come up with a theme. So now we can invite our friends and coworkers, and my boyfriend seems to like the idea. So I just stopped going to visit and help with his mom's party. I haven't seen her for over a month, and I didn't go visit her on Mother's Day. But I pushed my boyfriend to go see her and to talk to her almost every day. The baby shower's tomorrow. My mom's surgery was today. We had to wake up early, and I was at the hospital for 9 hours. Then I helped my mom with eating and cleaning and came home. How do I get out of going to the party? I want to tell them I'm sick or need to take care of my mom. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, this is awful and it's beyond time for you to say, as loud as you need to, that this is your baby and you will entertain all extended family at your convenience. If you don't do this now and hard, you're going to be watching screaming and crying scenes unfold over your baby's name, while fighting to get your baby back from this woman's arms as she's shrieking that this is her baby and you're denying her her rights. And of course, she's entitled to have the baby over for sleepovers the moment it is born. Your husband needs to call his mother and tell her neither of you are making her event. And if you decide to have a party, you will invite her or not. And then you both need to go low contact with this person and only engage when you choose to, because you owe her nothing. Comment 2. You just let your boyfriend tell the family that your mom's surgery went well and she's healing, but you need to stay and look after her. And he also needs to tell his mom that her intrusions are making it difficult to keep her in your lives. And if she can't listen to what you have to say, you'll have to limit contact. This is on him, not you, since it's his family. Hopefully he can be a man with his mom and not let her steamroll him. But the part about going to bed crying after he spoke to her doesn't seem like a good sign. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around for this update. You wouldn't believe the mess that unfolded. After all the drama with his mom's baby shower plans, I thought we'd reach some sort of compromise. But no. She had to go and pull a stunt that left everyone's jaw on the floor. Turns out, she had been secretly funneling money from my boyfriend's account to pay for this extravagant party. He found out when he couldn't make a payment for my son's competition fees. The betrayal cut deep. He had trusted her with access for emergencies, and she abused that trust for centerpieces and fancy napkins. My boyfriend was livid. Confronting her only led to more screaming matches. She played the victim, saying she only wanted the best for her grandchild, but stealing from her own son, that's a new low. He demanded she pay back every penny, and she had the audacity to act offended, as if he was the unreasonable one. In the midst of this chaos, my sister and cousin had been angels, planning our own little shower. It was heartwarming, a stark contrast to the Cold War brewing in his family. We decided to keep it simple. just close friends and family, the way I wanted it. It felt right, and my boyfriend, despite everything, was on board. He needed that sense of normalcy. The day before his mom's shower, I was exhausted. My mom's surgery had taken a toll on me, emotionally and physically. I couldn't face a room full of strangers celebrating a party I never wanted. So I made the call. I told them I couldn't make it, that I needed to care for my mom. It was the truth, but I knew they'd see it as an excuse. His mom's reaction was predictable. She accused me of ruining her party, of being selfish. But I stood my ground. My family needed me, and that was my priority. My boyfriend went to the shower to face the music alone, and I stayed with my mom where I was needed most. The aftermath was a mix of relief and tension. My boyfriend came back with stories of a party that felt more like a spectacle than a celebration. His mom had put on a show, but the heart wasn't there. He was hurt, but he also saw things clearer. He saw her actions for what they were, manipulative and controlling. Our own shower was a breath of fresh air. It was filled with laughter, genuine well wishes, and a sense of unity. My boyfriend's presence was the cherry on top. He apologized for not seeing his mom's true colors sooner, and we promised to always put our little family first. The baby shower his mom threw? It's a distant memory now, a lesson learned in trust and boundaries. We're moving forward, focusing on the arrival of our boy and the joy he'll bring. It's not about grand parties or pleasing everyone. It's about love, pure and simple. Thanks for reading. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day,